Okay, welcome everyone to the meeting of the Waynesboro Area School District Board of Directors for March 10th, 2020. Let's start with the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we have everyone here today, which is a good thing. The agenda, I don't believe there are any additions to the agenda. The only thing to say is that we will be meeting an executive session after the adjournment of the public meeting, and we will not have to have one before then. So if we could have a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, now, no, but what we're gonna do is, I did not exactly do that on purpose, but we are gonna do both voting on our Chromebooks here and verbalizing it. Now, I'm looking at tonight's agenda. I don't think we're gonna have any necessity for a roll call tonight. So I'll simply say, all those in favor, aye or nay, and then you hit your button. Because that way, everyone in the audience doesn't have to hope and find it up on the board, and they will know right away who voted what. Okay? Is that okay? Okay. So then I'll say again, all those in favor of approving the agenda? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so then we're just hitting
Yes.
yay, and we should be good, and then it'll still pop up, right, Aaron? Okay.
Right when she closes it, it'll go
Okay.
a few seconds.
Okay,
Here it is.
thank you. Okay.
Look at this. We're already at this.
Now on to the minutes. Anybody have any issues with the minutes from our last meeting they would like to bring up? If not, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
I
Okay.
abstain.
Okay, one abstention. All right, and click your yays there, or abstain, thank you. Okay, and now it is time for public comment. Anyone who would like to speak, please give your name, address, and limit your comments, please, to 5 minutes. Would anyone like to speak tonight? Okay, please come on up.
Never enjoy this part, but my name is Jana Dill, and I live at 13586 Pennersville Road. If it's okay, I just have the speech I'll read
Sure.
through.
Mhm.
Okay. So good evening. As I said, my name is Jana Dill, and I'm the mother of 2 students, one of whom is in 8th grade. I recently emailed all of you regarding your indecision with the redistricting plan that you created, and I'd like to thank Ms. Harold for taking the time to email me back. To start, I'd like each board member to think back to what they wanted to be when they grew up. Did you dream? Sorry, this is emotional for me. But did you dream of being a paleontologist, a famous actor, or professional athlete? Sure, those dreams might seem childish to us now, but if you put yourself in the place of a 13-year-old who has been given 5 days to decide, that's exactly what you're requiring our 8th graders to do. Over the past school year, I have read every article Dr. Klein has written about first choice, and I applaud his effort to bring back the basic classes and recognizing that college is not and should not be the only thing we're preparing our students for. However, I do not support asking 13 and 14-year-olds to decide on a career cluster track at such a young age. I do not feel that they have the emotional maturity to choose a career at this age, and I feel that you're putting undue pressure on them to expect them to do so. I attended Mr. Pappas's educational planning night on February 27th, and like most parents, I was surprised that we were only given 4 days notice of this important orientation. I heard him explain the basics of course selection, and this was the first time I was told that my daughter would be required to pick a career, even though she's only 13. My husband and I had concerns about this, and I was hoping to address them at the parent forum, scheduled for March 3rd. However, that was canceled on March 2nd, with no rescheduled date given. As you can see, other than the 5-minute explanation at planning night, parents have not been given any information on this process and how a declaration of a career will impact our children moving forward. This choice has caused a lot of anxiety in our household. First, because we didn't know we were going to have to make it. Second, because she only had 5 days to decide on a career path. And third, because my 13-year-old is like most. She doesn't know what she wants to be when she grows up. And you know what? That's okay, because she's 13. The saddest part to all of this is that we are inadvertently setting up our kids to think that something is wrong with them for not knowing what they want to do. Unbeknownst to me, my daughter took an aptitude test to show what career she should pick. However, none of that information was shared with me. In fact, I wouldn't have even known it existed if she hadn't told me. She said that her test showed that she should be in the arts, and that her teacher told her there were very few jobs available in that field. So she decided that even though she loves the arts, she shouldn't pick that cluster. How sad. High school should be a time for exploration and exposure to multiple careers, not just one. So to use a quote from Mr. Pappas's that he put on his path note, the first one of the school year, no one ever made a difference by following the rules, and this is why my daughter's form will say undecided for her career cluster. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Pappas.
I'm sorry, did you want to comment, Mr. Pappas?
This quote, I didn't make that quote, that was just said, it might have been,
It was in the path note that's listed on the website. The first path note of the year.
that's not.
That would have been mine.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay,
It had your name at the bottom, so I assumed.
okay. Okay, anyone else like to speak tonight? Okay, if not, we will move on to the next item, which is the student report. Abby?
Well, first today the students saw that the new soap was being put in, and everybody really liked that because it's easy to push and it actually comes out. Students selected their courses last week. The musical is upcoming this weekend. That's why Josh isn't here. And then the Junior Civitan is having their annual talent show next Friday. And that's pretty much
Okay, great, thank you. Board reports, does anyone want to comment on any committee reports or anything we've had over the last 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay,
We
Ms.
have
Straight?
budget committee meeting today. We are currently working with a $400,000 deficit. That is due mainly to cyber charter and LIU special ed costs. So we are trying to work through those differences. We also looked at the maintenance or capital expenditures in the curriculum budget today.
Okay.
Oh, and we hope to have a preliminary budget approval by the 4/14 meeting.
Okay, good to know.
To answer that lady, is that meeting day?
Okay, anybody else have any?
Facilities
Wenger.
committee meets Monday, 6:30.
And the academic committee is meeting tomorrow at 9 in this room.
And policy meets Wednesday. Daughter's having the same.
Wednesday during the day, 1 o'clock. Okay.
18th, correct?
Policy 18th at 1. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. So we are not going into executive session, so let me get this to move down. Next item is personnel. Dr. Sternerheim.
Okay, I'd like to direct your attention to the personnel items listed in your board docs. We have the retirement of Jesse Ensinger from the middle school. Want to congratulate him on 25 years of service, as well as the retirement of Matt Brown, also at the middle school, congratulating him on 17 years of service. Also listed, we have termination of support staff, resignation of extracurricular staff, resignation of coaching staff, requests for leave, additional requests for leaves, appointment of support staff, appointment of coaching staff, appointment of extracurricular staff, appointments of additional substitute support staff. And then also on the handout, but it's not really a handout anymore because it's actually on your board doc as well. We have resignation of coaching staff, several requests for leaves, and another appointment of coaching staff, and additional appointments of substitute support staff. So recommendation is to approve as listed.
Motion on this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Bechtel, any questions for Dr. Sternerheim? Okay, if not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Just waiting for it to go up on the board there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, now we're gonna move on to business, and just looking at this, Mr. Holtzman, I'm thinking perhaps we can combine a couple of them, like number 1 and number 2 could perhaps be in one vote, maybe 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6 separately. Does that make sense?
It does, yes, ma'am. I mean, realistically, 1 through 4 are pretty normal activities. 5
Oh,
and 6
you
are
wanna throw the
certainly
property
separate.
in then with the first 2?
If the board desires, but yes.
Everybody okay
Yeah.
with that? Okay. Okay, so then we'll be voting on 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll do 5 and 6 separately. So, before we have any discussion, does anybody have a motion to approve the first 4?
Move to approve?
Second.
Okay, now, discussion or questions for Mr. Holtzman? No? Okay. I was looking over those property parcels things.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they're trying to get the taxes back on them, but basically, we're not getting any of that money. Is that
No.
correct?
That's
Okay.
correct. We're not gonna get the old taxes and
Right.
arrears. They changed the mobile home laws a couple years ago, I'm saying maybe 7, 8 years ago. Now, this part is, I guess, potentially hypothetical. The legislator who pushed that owned hypothetically a lot of mobile trailer home yards. And so we used to be number 1 in line when it came to taxes. We're not number 1 in line anymore now when it comes to taxes. If you have a property that's going into foreclosure as a mobile home, the person who owns the land and charges the sewer and things of that nature is now number 1. So we rarely ever get anything whenever a mobile home goes into foreclosure now.
So they don't split it, like 30% goes to the state and 20%?
No.
It's just they pay it
It's
off
all the
until there's
ground
no
rent
money
and the
left.
water and
Okay.
sewer and things, and typically those costs are far above what the value is of the
Yeah.
trailer itself, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great question, but yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
The good news is that hopefully we're getting it back on and we'll get something then going forward, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, if not, all those in favor of the approval of the first 4 items, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Okay, now we're on to the interim agreement through PASBO with new employee. That's Dr. Klein? Who is that? That's Mr. Holtzman? Okay. Okay. Mr. Holtzman.
Sure, yes, ma'am, thank you. This is the direction we're going in, and this is hiring a part-time director of maintenance for the district. We're hiring through PASBO. We're doing that for a lot of reasons, but in a sense, this person will be a contractual employee from the PASBO organization. PASBO will provide some additional guidance for that individual and direction as well. I believe you're familiar with the person himself. It'll be Jeff Adams. He was invited tonight, but unfortunately, he already had a plan, and this was very short notice for him. He already had a commitment with some grandchildren this evening, so he apologized. But this would go ahead. He can go ahead and start tomorrow. The agreement is that we would go up to 20 hours a week, less as maybe as time goes on. So again, I think we're excited. We're looking forward to this opportunity, and we would ask for your approval.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions for Mr. Holtzman?
Mr. Holtzman, is there a good plan as far as his responsibilities and what he is going to be doing in the 20 hours?
I think there is, yes, sir. I think initially we're going to start off with basically just overview of the department. He does have the duties and responsibilities. We did give him that as well. There's actually a job description for those duties and responsibilities. I think one of the things we're going to probably focus on initially is custodial supervision. We just have so many buildings, and it takes a lot of time to manage that, and I think that's one of those areas we can certainly start off with and get some efficiencies there.
Just get him up to speed.
Yes, sir.
On,
Yeah.
on the facilities themselves.
You got it. Yes, sir.
Mr. Holtzman,
Yes, sir.
I hope that some aspects of the outside audit we had that led
Yes.
us to this decision have been included in the job description.
They absolutely have, and in fact, we did give him a copy of that probably a couple weeks ago when we were doing some interviews and taking a look at that. And so I think that he's had an opportunity to review that and understand some of the issues and concerns there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Record that, please. And the next one is the computer services agreement. Is that you again, Mr. Holtzman?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay.
This is the e-service agreement that we have with CSIU, which is Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit. That's who provides our financial software that we use for personnel, for purchase orders, all of our general accounting funding, personnel, taxes. So this is something we use year in, year out. It's about a 1.4% increase from the current year based on their structure. I can't give you the exact dollar amount because they'll base it on our actual ADMs, and when those numbers are finalized, they'll give us the exact amount. But ballpark, I estimated about a 1.4% increase.
Okay.
We are using them to switch over. Right now we're using kind of their older system. We're going to switch over to their newer system. There's no change in cost. This does not reflect actually a change in cost because of that Fizz system that they have, but it'll be more of an online web-based system starting in July for us. So hopefully a little bit better. Not quite ideal where we would like to get to yet, but heading in the right direction at least.
Okay. Motion on this?
So moved.
Second.
Questions for Mr. Holtzman? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
I got logged out somehow. That was fine. Huh? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, on then to informational items, Clayton Cabinet comments.
Yes, I'll start. Just another reminder, on Monday is the Facilities Committee meeting, and then on next Wednesday is the Policy Committee. Just keep reminding everyone.
Okay. Board member comments.
Oh, can I go?
Sure.
All right, under Clayton, cabinet comments, if you look, there is, an update. I was asked to provide, updates on redistricting. So you should be able to see it in your board doc. I believe, Aaron's going to put it up here on the screen as well. The redistricting part, yeah, maybe not. Okay, here we go. All right, so, in terms of, the update, right now we're at 59% of the, letters have been returned back to Fairview, 80% at Hooverville, 70% at Maury, and 56% at, Summit View. So that is the update when you'll, I don't know.
The deadline is like the 3rd or something? The deadline is the 3rd of April? Is that what we're talking about?
It's March 21st.
Oh, March 21st.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sorry,
think
got
at
the
one
wrong.
point it was, Karen.
Okay, got the wrong one. Okay, yep.
And so within that, document as well, there's just for the board review of where we are with elementary enrollment numbers, in terms of class sizes and reconfiguration. So it appears at this point that, I guess the primary concern has been, class sizes at Hooverville. And, so at this point, we are still anticipating 30 and 31 in 5th grade at Hooverville at this point. The other 4th and 3rd at this point seem a little more reasonable that we're able to shift some teacher support over from the other buildings. Again, with not all the letters being returned at this point, it's a little premature to make a prediction across the board, so we'll wait till the 21st and hopefully be able to bring closure to that.
Okay,
Questions?
thank you.
Actually, just a comment, the Record Herald article after the last meeting mentioned the April date, did not say March 21st.
And they pulled from a source that was not confirmed by the Waynesbury School District.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that, perhaps something should be put back in the paper again.
I was under the impression they fixed it.
Okay.
I mean,
I
I
haven't seen
contacted,
anything.
okay, I contacted, Andrea Rose and John Irwin immediately, and they apologized, and they said, I think they pulled it from somebody's Facebook page. So I said it wasn't correct, and then we sent the right information, so I could follow up with them in terms of a correction. I made the assumption they fixed it, but perhaps they did not.
Maybe they'll do something right soon since.
Okay,
We can send out a reminder. She got all the information last time, so.
So Rita, the visitation is next week?
We had, well, there's different visitations depending on the building, but we have another visitation on March 17th. Yeah,
Are
every,
we keeping track of how many people are visiting? Can we do that?
yeah, we can, we are, okay. So we asked parents to do some RSVPing so we would be better prepared, so we would have an understanding of like how many people would be coming in the evening, so yeah, we are tracking that.
And just a question for you, and I apologize if you already answered this. So the people that have requested open enrollment, at this point in time, their student is staying where their home school is. Nobody's been switched yet.
Nobody has been officially switched at this point.
Okay.
Okay. All
But
right.
if you look at the number that are requesting the open enrollment, you know, if you're spreading that across several grade levels, it's
Right.
manageable. Like, so,
Yeah, without knowing where they're going.
yeah, so in other
But I
words,
just
if
meant
they're
from a-
all in third grade, that would be problematic,
But from a perspective of what we're looking at the enrollment right here without anything being honored.
that is correct.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what I thought. I
But
just
we
wanted
have
to
some wiggle
confirm.
room, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other information from anyone? Okay, if not,
One more question.
okay.
On the enrollment, did you say the teachers have not been moved yet? They're where they are right now, on here?
No teachers have been officially moved. Now, we have staffing sheets that we ask teachers to complete, and in certain cases, I think the individuals, there are individuals who've requested a move.
Okay.
So at this point, I think we have a plan in place where either, there may be, a transfer or a voluntary movement or transfer,
Okay.
so.
I just wanted to make sure what
But
I
I
was
took,
looking at.
all the teachers' names are not, they're not on here on the list, and so therefore I didn't want anyone to make any assumptions, so it's just by grade
Okay.
level.
Just question, that's all.
Great. Okay. Okay, if we have no more informational items then, we will go to our second public comment. Would anyone like to speak
What?
in this session? Anyone?
Am I allowed to inform the board and the parent just on facts about situations? Everyone knows, I know our questions, and that way you'll have a clarity on those. Is that allowed at this moment?
On the question of choosing careers?
Yeah, just so it's clear to everyone where we are with that, because there was some things that were said. I mean, I can.
Hey,
talk
it's
to you
only
all I want,
25 of 8 and we're almost done. Go for it.
I would really like for you to do that because I have no idea.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah, yeah.
Ma'am, we can talk afterwards.
But it would be nice for the
I
board to
think
hear.
they'd like to hear
Sure.
Steve.
Well,
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I mean, we had 2 administrators left sick, so we canceled, the meeting, and I love those meetings. We're gonna have it again, we just don't have a set date yet. So we will have, I'm glad that as an 8th grade parent, you wanna come, so I appreciate that. So the career clusters, our 8th graders do not have to pick one for next year. We've already decided that, because if we were going to, we were gonna have to make the middle school do it, like, really quick, and they have to handle it. So that's not a mandatory thing coming in. It can change any year. They're not locked into anything. This is just trying to give them some guidance. So, as they're going through the first choice class at Lambs, yes, they're trying to gain an understanding of where their strengths are, but they're not locked into that at all. It's just kind of a guiding tool that we're using with Smart Futures. So they don't have to have it to come into the high school. They can have ideas, but just that first year is gonna be a lot of your core classes, so it really isn't gonna have a major impact on anything when they're selecting their electives and stuff like that. So we understand that they might not know. They might not know when they're 18, their senior year. So so they can still make changes with that. But we're focusing on that, on the careers, just to have them with first choice, having the opportunities to be prepared post high school. So that's where we're going with that. But again, they're never locked into it. It's just trying to give them some additional guidance and awareness of what's out there. So that's the big piece with that. What were there other questions that you had?
Can I offer a suggestion then? Because my daughter was actually in the last round to get her paper.
Okay.
And at this point, I had gotten to where I really wasn't even looking at my Facebook messages anymore. so I'm very much, I speak for myself. I don't need to speak for a crowd. If they want to come in and talk with anybody, I feel like they should do that.
Yeah, people can come and call me anytime.
Absolutely. So I just, I kind of put that off to the side and I thought we'll deal with it when it comes. But then when I saw that and I didn't have any information as to how to guide her, or even, I didn't know if this was going to restrict her later on. There were just a lot of
Yeah, no
questions that I
restrictions. Sure,
didn't
I
have the
get that.
answer for.
I get that.
And I feel like putting that choice into my 13-year-old's hands, it's really hard because when I think back to what I wanted to be when I was 13,
Sure.
it certainly wasn't a teacher who works.
Sure. Now, we hope that
today.
parents are giving that guidance. We're looking at avenues from all over, but we want the parent and the child to make the ultimate decision of where to go.
And I think that's where she said, well, my guidance counselor said I could meet with them. And I thought, my mom,
Sure.
he's dad.
Yeah, we're good
We're
with
going to
that.
do this together.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Yeah.
And we have our counselors coming down, and Mrs. Shope, I know is involved, Ms. Radewald's involved, and they're meeting with the 8th graders.
So I
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions I can answer on that with the board, that process?
I get it now.
Okay.
Okay, good, good. Glad you volunteered to give that information. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so we will be going into executive session, but we will not be coming back. So do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Meeting ever.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Wow.
Great. Oh, vote, yeah.
We have to vote.
See you guys. Good night.
Wait,